Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Hello. Why are you quiet?
I'm trying to think what day it is. Oh, it is Thursday night for us,
Thursday. Actually, it's
and Friday morning for you guys. We are here in our living room and doing a devotional.
it's actually Friday morning for us.
So, um, hopefully, you guys are waking up. Well, of course, you're waking up, or else you wouldn't have seen this, right? So, I'm glad you woke up. Thank God you woke up.
With air in your lungs.
Yeah, strength
Another day.
strength in your legs.
Another day to give God all the glory and honor for.
Your children are probably on Christmas vacation, and some of you have. Some of your kids are just starting Christmas vacation. Some of you have already started, and your kids are driving you nuts already. That's all right.
Praise God for that.
Yeah, because before you know it, trust me, your kids grow up, and then you wish they were little again.
I know, and then your house is all quiet like
Yeah.
ours.
And you end up doing devotionals at midnight.
Yeah, like us. Wishing there was noise in the house.
That was sad.
It was like doomsday.
So,
Actually, we just had a really nice visit and a nice little conversation with Veronica and Alex from Lake Tahoe. They brought their son.
their oldest son. So he just got back from college, I think the week after we stopped going every single week. So we had never had a real chance to really sit with him. And they came to drop off Tomas because he helped him do some work. And they evangelized with Eli here on Wilson Way. And then they went to dinner because it was Sister Laura's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Sister Laura. I know we didn't get a chance to get out there with them guys. I'm kind of like, I've been under the weather the last 2 days, and I'm kind of barely feeling a little bit better. And I know you were feeling under the weather last few days.
They know because of yesterday's.
Yeah.
Half of you watched yesterday's devotional. For some reason, only half the usual people watched it. I guess nobody wants to start a Bible study because I titled it "How to Start One."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they got like half the views.
I guess
It's probably the lowest views of any devotional we've ever done.
Really? So nobody wants to start a study? Was it your title? What was your title?
How to start a Bible study. That's messed up. That tells me a lot.
Dang, guys.
Charlie with you guys.
Charlie con ustedes.
But hopefully you guys watch this one. I know what it is.
What is it?
They're protesting the days I don't do devotionals. That's messed up,
It
eh?
was under the weather, guys.
That's messed up. So
Have some forgiveness in your heart.
I always like to see this to make sure that remember sometimes we would do the things and mics weren't even working?
I know.
I'm talking about this,
and then
guys.
they would think that we weren't doing them.
Talking about this. See when I'm talking, see the meters?
Yeah.
So I always have it facing me so I can make sure there's sound going through.
Because sometimes we would actually go through this whole thing, and then we would be like, seriously, we just went through that whole thing and didn't record, and then we wouldn't do one at all.
I'll be like, I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
It's only happened a handful of times. So 2 or 3 times, but
we do got a verse, guys.
yeah.
But that's pretty much what's been going on the last few days, guys. We've been just a little under the weather, but praise God, that we're good. And I know there's been a lot of people that have been kind of there's just been a lot of little bugs here and there. And guys, it doesn't always necessarily need to be COVID, flus exist, stomach flus exist, colds exist, a lot of different things still exist.
They've existed for thousands of years.
Yes, guys, it still exists. We just, it's that time of the year where people, it's cold out there. It's actually been really cold lately.
Yeah.
So
well, it's funny, even Veronica and Alex, they're in 4 feet of snow. They come here and they're like, oh, it's cold over here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You guys came from snow.
Yeah. We just got to make sure we cover up really good. We take our vitamins and we make sure that we go out there from the heat into the cold, because when we get under our when we get under our heaters and everything, make sure you cover up when you get into that cold weather, because going out from hot to cold constantly, it's not good for us. So cover up the moment you get into that cold weather, guys.
You know, before we go into the verse, I'm really excited, guys, because I'm sure this has happened before, but it's been a while. I'm guessing is that Christmas Day is falling on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and we're not canceling service. But I did want people that have a place to go. I want them to go to their families, you know, because I would never guilt people into saying, "Well, if you ain't in church, you ain't a real Christian." Like, no, no, no. To be a Christian is to be with your family, you know.
But we also know that a lot of people celebrate Christmas Eve, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
celebrate Christmas Eve and don't do nothing Christmas Day, and a lot of people don't have family or don't have family nearby. So we're having service Christmas morning.
And
You
we're
know,
doing something a little different this year, right?
yeah, which you guys are gonna understand a little more than other people because we're almost gonna mix Sunday service with RBT. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing else. Just that.
You won't want to miss it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't want to miss it. It's going to be real intimate. It's going to be
Yeah.
nice and fun.
Because we know it's not gonna be full. We had a full service Sunday because of the Christmas. We knew, so that's why we did our Christmas service the Sunday before Christmas Day. But we know that a small amount of people, maybe a quarter, I'm guessing a quarter of the congregation, don't have nowhere to go. And I did bribe them, though, with some abuelita chocolate.
And some pan dulce.
Yeah, some coffee. So
Watch it be super full on Sunday. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna fully laugh if it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're gonna make it really special, and I'm gonna quit talking. We're just gonna make it special, guys. So, but either way, whether you are there in person or watching online, it's gonna be different. Yeah. You want to get into the verse?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. So we're going to go into the book of James.
It's getting late. It's 12:30 midnight.
Chapter 4, verse 13. James is actually the half-brother of Jesus. I don't know if a lot of you people know that. James was one of the brothers that made fun of Jesus during his ministry. But after the resurrection, couldn't be denied. You know, and matter of fact, James actually led the church once Peter was arrested. Because Peter was kind of like leading the church and then he goes to prison and James kind of took the reins. And at the time the book of James was written, a lot of Christians were getting all scary. They're getting scared because people are getting arrested. Peter's arrested. And so James comes on kind of harsh, guys, but there's a reason. It's because people were starting to lose their footing. They were losing their nerve. And James came back hard with the book of James. In case sometimes people read and they're like, man, James is kind of strict. Because he had to be, because what was happening at the time. Peter's arrested, and so James writes this. So in James chapter 4, verse 13 through
15.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How about 17?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So it says this. It says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin."
All right. David is reading out of the ESV, and I'm going to be reading out of the Message. "And now I have word for you who have brashly announced, today at the latest tomorrow, we're off to such and such a city for the year. We're going to start a business and make a lot of money. You don't know the first thing about tomorrow. You're nothing but a wisp of fog, catching a brief bit of sun before disappearing. Instead, make it a habit to say, If the master wills it and we're still alive, we'll do this or that. As it is, you are full of your grandiose selves. All such vaunting self importance is evil. In fact, if you know the right thing to do and don't do it, that for you is evil.
Wow. Wow. You know,
Vaunting, I take it as boasting.
yeah. I like this passage, and I'll be honest, it reminds me of my mom. Every time since I was little, I would hear my mom say, okay, I'll see you next week. And my mom would always say, if the Lord wills.
Mm-hmm.
But she would say it in Spanish. Si Dios da la licencia. If God gives the license to do it.
It's funny because it both reminds us of things that our moms say.
Si Dios da la licencia. You know, and in English it basically says, if God gives a license to do it, then I'll see you next week. Because of this verse, because she understood, guys, we are only alive until the next breath.
Or they always say, si Dios quiere.
Yeah.
Si Dios permite, si Dios
Yeah,
quiere.
if God permits, if God allows. Because by doing that, you're giving God, you're like saying, I can't do nothing unless God allows it. I don't even know.
If God wills it.
Yeah, because think about it. All of us are we're only alive until our next breath.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, if you lose breath, that's it. You're done. You know, and I like the way what James is telling them, because for whatever reason, maybe at this time, there were some people that were boasting, oh man, I'm going to build this ministry, or I'm going to open this business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. See, there's nothing wrong with projecting, because we should plan our life. We should plan our, say those of you that have retirement, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's when you put it in a pedestal ahead of God.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know. And so he's like, for those that say today or tomorrow we're going to go into such and such a town and spend a year there and do this and do that. He goes, how do you know that you're even going to have tomorrow?
Yeah, like the part where it says, you're nothing but a wisp of fog catching a brief bit of sun before disappearing. It reminds me when my mom even says, no hagas castillos en el aire. Like, don't make castles with the wind.
Yeah.
Like saying, because, you know, it's like saying it can be gone with the wind that quickly.
Yeah.
And my mom would always tell me, you're such a daydreamer. You know, my mom would always tell me, like, stop dreaming so much. You're such a daydreamer. You're always making castles with the wind, you know. And I would never understand when she would say that, and I'd be like, what do you mean, mommy? And she'd be like, no hagas castillos en el aire, you know, because if you're gonna do something, make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it, make a goal that is reachable, not unreachable goals. And I never truly understood what she meant, because she'd be like, your goals are so unreachable sometimes that, you know, that they're so far away. Make them smaller enough so that you can reach them. Yeah. And I get it now.
I'm sure many of you have been at the beach, and you get a stick and you write your name in the sand.
Yeah.
And when the water comes, your name disappears.
It disappears, yeah.
Just like that. You know, so in the spectrum of time, you know, it's weird because, you know, when you're alive, you think you have your whole life ahead of you, especially if you're young. You think you have your whole life ahead of you. And the fact is this, is that drive by a cemetery. All of those people thought they had a whole life ahead of them, and basically they did, but not realizing the shortness of that life. Those cemeteries are full of people that smiled, that laughed, that loved, that hugged, that cared, that worked, that cried, and they're gone.
I bet you if you could ever go back and ask them if they ever knew when the end date of their time would be, none of them could ever tell you.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever knows that time.
You know, it's weird because I remember when they told me my out date, I knew what day I was going to get out, right? And it felt so far. It felt so far that it was just like, man, me and the brothers, me and Johnny, like we were always going to be together. It just became so normal. And that date felt so far, but the closer it got, and then And all of a sudden, it was weird because when I finally walked out, it felt like that never happened. And I have a feeling that's what life is like. And none of us know that because we're all still here. You know, and it could almost haunt you to be on your deathbed and think of everything you didn't do. And I think that's sometimes a good thing, because those are the things that, for instance, I myself, like, there's a lot of things I plan on doing that I haven't yet done, but there's a lot of things that I planned that I did do. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, I think no matter who you are, to think like, man, I didn't do that, you know? And here's the thing, right? Is the fact right here, it says, um, in verse, it's kind of blurry for me because it's a little dark in here. Wait. Yeah, thank you. For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is a sin. So it's like, if you know what you need to do right now,
do it.
Then do it. Because if you don't, it's a sin unto you.
You're robbing yourself.
You know, and it's like, you know, I know the Bible college was hard. I know that. But guys, I want to encourage you. You paid money to do that course. And if all that stopped you was life, please, try to go back and remember that moment, that spark when you got really excited, and do it. Because I remember this. I remember the Bible college told me this. Because part of me wanted to do it when I got out of prison. And now I still had 2 years and 2 months left at the time when I was enrolled. And it wasn't the college that said that. Somebody said it to me. One of the brothers, I don't remember who. I don't even think it was a Christian brother. It was just an educated guy in prison. And he tells me, why are you waiting? What are you waiting? What are you going to do here? You're going to sit here until your release date, and then you're going to get out and get busy with life. He goes, and you're going to look back and say, man, I could have did this that time. Guys, tomorrow's not promised. You got to grab what you need to grab now. And I'm not speaking to just you guys, I'm speaking to myself. You know, you got to go for it, because if tomorrow isn't promised, I truly believe that at the end, we're all going to have regrets of what we should have done. But what if you knock off some of the things off that list? You know, I mean, we don't know. You know, we don't know. And that's like, I mean, one good thing is that hopefully we're living for Christ. Because to me, like, even now, I surrender my life at 32. And I regret not giving him my 20s. I regret not giving the Lord my teens. I can never take that back.
Yeah.
Never. I can't. You know, so that's already a regret.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, even something simple as this, is that for the first time, you know, me and Sharon started reading the Bible from the beginning. And I remember thinking this, and I never shared it with her, but we did it like at 9 a.m. to like, how late was it?
1 o'clock in the
To
morning.
1 o'clock in the morning. And I remember it was either that night, or I was probably too tired, maybe in the morning. I don't remember when this thought came to my head. Because my prayer life is interesting, because I have conversations with God. I don't have the old school prayer life where I'm just sending a lot of things to the Lord, and then I just don't let him answer. I just conversate with him, you know? And I was like, God, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. And all of a sudden, regret came in, because we could have been doing this together for years. And I can't get that back. And even if we, you know, now that we are studying and reading the Word together, I mean, we have read the Word, talked about the Word, but I mean Genesis to Revelation. We've never done that together. And even if we continue and go forward, I'm like, man, I could have done this years ago. And I can't take that. I can't get that back. And then like I think like where would we have been? Like right now we're in Exodus, but where would we have? We would have already finished. You know what I mean? And so these are what I mean. It's like don't sit there and say I don't got no regrets. No, there's regrets if you really sit and think about it. There are regrets, guys. And even if you have accomplishments, there's going to be regrets. And the whole thing about the scripture is realize that your life is a mist. And I think sometimes that we don't really realize it. Like we look at the life of a fly, don't they last days or
I think so.
right? Days or a mosquito or and what's weird is they don't realize. They probably think they lived this whole long life because they lived a week.
Or because they've flown so far away. To them, it seems like for a very long ways, but it's not that long. Yeah.
Yeah, but as we, okay, let's take it even further. Those of us that are pet lovers, dogs or cats, obviously, if you had a dog in your childhood, you outlived your dog. And then you got another dog, and you outlived that dog. And then you got another dog, and you've outlived that dog. But to them, they had a long life.
Yeah, they did.
But to us, it was a short life. So imagine how God sees our life.
Yeah.
And then, when we see people waste their life, we're like, man, can't you see what's happening here? Like it's just gonna go. Like I'm 50 and I'm just like, where did it go? Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, you might look at it that way, but in a sense, it's answered prayer. It's answered prayers to my prayers.
In what way? What do you mean?
Because that's something that I had been praying for.
About your age?
No, about being able to study like that with you and everything. That's what I've been praying for.
Oh, you're talking about no, of course that was beautiful. That's beautiful. But I mean, like, do you ever look at your life like, how did it pass so fast?
Well, I think mine's just gone a lot faster than you because I'm just constantly always busy. I feel like my life has been at a light speed because I'm constantly on the go, constantly on the go, constantly on the go. And I feel like it goes quick, a little too quick. And I feel like my life I don't know where it has gone.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, Scripture says, and actually in New King James it says our life is but a vapor.
Yeah.
You guys know what a vapor is? Like spray a cologne and you see that mist, if you don't stare at it, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
When it goes, whoosh, right? Or when you blow out a candle and you see that, and pretty soon it's gone.
Yeah. I think for me, because when I came here, I kind of came here thinking that I was gonna continue on with aspirations of doing some of the things that I was already doing from back home and everything, and I put a lot of my own things on hold and everything, and I didn't. I really just got busy with doing a lot of ministry, and I got busy to doing a lot of other stuff that I kind of put things on hold. And I think because of that, I just realized that there was just no time for a lot of other stuff, and time just flew. It flew by so quickly that I just never had time. That I think what happens is that people begin to lose themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and when you begin to lose yourself, you begin to lose a part of who you are. And I think that's what happens, is that when time goes away, and you begin to lose some of the stuff that you do for yourself, or some of the stuff that's important to yourself, you begin to lose pieces of who you are, and you begin to lose the person that you are. in general. And I think that that's what happens to people. And and that's how people become sort of emotionally, mentally unstable in just in life,
Yeah.
and I think that that's what's happened to this world, and that's how social media, and that's how a lot of what this world has become now. It's become so chaotic, and you see the way it is. It's being now pretty much, it's being now dictated by social media, it's being dictated by the internet, it's being dictated by so many other things, because it's so easily for them to be dictated
Hmm.
by other things, because they're no longer able to be take their own desires, their own things, they have no more drive of their own drive.
Yeah.
So they're now allowing the things of the world drive them, because they've lost themselves,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to lose themselves, that now the world is driving them, you know. I just I feel that that's what's happened to this world today.
Yeah. I think even YouTube
Yeah.
and social media, internet life, it somehow, in a weird way, I don't know how to word it, but it's almost made the day shorter,
It has.
and sometimes you gotta force yourself to slow down.
Yeah.
Sometimes we gotta force ourselves to slow down, and you have to, guys, you have to do it. Like, once in a while, um, Sharon's phone used to act up, and I would be like, watch, you're gonna confirm. I'd be like, have you shut your phone off and turn it back on? And you'll be like, no, it's
I
been
was like,
months.
I no. Sometimes I don't even think that I had done it ever since the time that I had gotten my phone. I'd tell him, I'd be like, oh, I was supposed to do that. He's like, yeah, that's what you do with phones when you get them. And I'm like, I never did it. Or it's been over a year, or it's been months, and he's be like, you have to do that.
Even if your phone screen is off, the processor is constantly on. Can you imagine? That would be like you never sleeping or resting. Your mind would be jumbled. And the computer starts to slow down and it starts to act different because it needs to shut down. Because once it shuts down, that's why the Bible, that's why our bodies dream, because our brain finally gets a chance to, your whole body's asleep.
Yeah.
So now your brain can do what it needs to do. Because if you stay up 2 or 3 days, you start to hallucinate,
Yeah.
because your brain has never shut itself down. Like your body has never, your brain has never had a chance to just kind of reconfigure things. And that's what, even with your computer, you're not supposed to leave computers on all the time, guys. That's
Yeah.
like a pet peeve of mine. You got to let
Oh,
that
it
thing
is.
rest. You got to, same thing with your phone. There's once in a while, I'm not saying every day, but I'll shut my phone down. And that way, whatever's in the RAM or the memory of it, it allows it to dissipate, and then it starts fresh. You know what I mean? But I don't even know where I went with that. But um, we need to rest. Well, yeah, we need to slow down. That's why I went there.
Yeah.
A lot of times we need to slow down, and if all you are is watching the news and watching this and watching that, whatever, it's too much. It's too much. And life is a vapor, guys. Life is a vapor, and you need to take advantage of it, and not take it for granted. And cemeteries are full of people wishing they could have your problems.
And if you do feel the need to have to go on to watching something, watch something that's educational for you. Learn how to cook something, learn how to make some crafts. It's funny because when people ask, how'd you learn how to do this, how'd you learn how to do that, because I love to do crafts. I love to watch DIY projects. I'm constantly watching DIY projects because I really do love to learn how to
You get ideas.
Yeah, I love to get ideas with stuff. I don't like to copy things, but I love to take ideas and make them even better. I do love to do that. I love to decorate, guys. That's a really big thing of mine. I just love that stuff. It's something when it comes to David loves to read, he loves audibles. I like listening to audibles. Listen to audibles. Study. I love to read when it comes to certain things. He loves to read on history and biblical stuff. I love to read on other stuff. But guys, educate yourself on a lot of things. I love to educate myself when it comes to health stuff. I love educating myself on health stuff. I love to read on health stuff. So educate yourself, do stuff that is going to better yourself to something, I think that kind of stuff is really, really important. Feed your mind, feed your soul, feed your heart, feed the things that are going to make your life positive and that are going to encourage you in every which way possible, and that are going to bring you closer to God, and I think those things are important. But I definitely agree, unwind yourself, don't do it right before you're about to go to sleep. Put your phone down before going to bed, at least an hour, 2 hours before going to bed. We like to do that. We put our phones away and we'll watch a little TV and then we'll shut it off. And then, I think that's it. We make sure not to have it on right before, going to bed. But guys,
but you seize your time. You seize your time. I felt sick and I was feverish on Sunday, and then Sunday night it really hit me. I was at service in the lobby nodding off because I was not feeling good.
Yeah.
And then I was getting better, and then you got sick. I got you sick, and here's what we did, because a lot of times we're so going that we never get to just enjoy our living room and just watch TV. And here's the thing, it's not even, I'll be honest with you, it's not even about the TV. I like to be with my wife. Just us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And half the experience is having a good show to watch, obviously. I mean, who doesn't like that? But the other half is just being with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not having to talk or be doing this, just being together. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't want to be sick and me here alone watching a show and then her in the room watching a show. That takes
apart.
No, that doesn't even make sense to me. And I'm just like, hey, because when you're sick, I don't feel like studying. I don't feel like reading. Your head hurts, and it's like, what else is there to do? Veg out and just stare at the screen. But you're doing it together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we don't get that opportunity a lot. So like when I was getting better,
I'm sitting there feeling him and just making sure like, you okay, baby.
So you're getting, I was getting better and she was getting sick. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just watch TV.
Yeah.
Let's just, just be here together. And that's what we did. And I don't know what we ate. I know you were starving one day. Was that yesterday?
I didn't eat nothing. I ate crackers.
Yeah. The only thing that settled with me was Ritz crackers.
Yeah, that's all we ate, Ritz crackers.
I feel like eating Ritz crackers. That was the weirdest thing, guys, because I'm a meat eater.
Yeah, all we ate were Ritz crackers,
I want steak or chicken, and I'm like, man, that stuff does not sound good to me. For some reason, Ritz crackers sounded good to me, but
that's all we ate.
But we just enjoyed each other's company, guys, and nothing's wrong with that. I don't feel like, oh man, we lost, and I'm sorry, devotionals are important to me, but I'm like, okay, we need to do devotional. I didn't get to study my Bible, but I got to spend time with you. You know what I mean? And that's not wasted time to me. I don't regret that. Mm-mm. I don't regret it at all. And it's like, it's kind of weird to say, but like even when we had COVID, the first time really, we didn't have COVID, but I mean, when we did have it, when was that? What year was that? 2020? 2021?
No,
2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Boy, did we get it. Like, we ended up in the ER.
Together.
But
yeah,
not because we lived through it. I look back at that time, it was almost fun. in a weird way. Not the not being able to breathe part.
It was not fun, guys. Not for me.
But in the sense of this, is I look back and I forgot. Like, yeah, I tell people, like, man, it was horrible. And it was. But, like, there's so many moments there that only me and my wife shared.
Yeah.
There was times we couldn't breathe, and we put worship. And we would worship in our room.
We pray together.
We would worship songs, and it was hard to breathe, guys. That only us and God knows. Moments of prayer as the breathing was getting worse, and we would pray. There was times when my body would hurt so bad, and she would care for me, and I would go and make her a Theraflu, and it was rough, but there was beautiful moments in there, because that's how you build perseverance. That's how you build character. That's how you build a marriage. It's through the hard stuff. You know, is there good times that we have created memories where we joke and laugh and whatever? Yeah. But there's moments like that have built. I even want to say this.
There's even hard times too.
I want to say this, that our marriage got stronger through having COVID together.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment when we went to the ER and she had pneumonia. And it was just starting.
And blood clots.
And when we were both in the ER, we both couldn't breathe. And they said, we're going to keep her. And they pulled her away from me. That was that moment where I thought I would never see her again. Because people were dying. Not people in the news, people we knew. So this was real, but we're here, and it made us stronger, guys. It made us stronger together because we went through it together, and we helped each other, and those are the struggles that later on build who you are. And build who you are together. Because life is a vapor, guys. Don't take your days for granted. Every day is a blessing from God. Every day. If you're watching this devotional right now and you woke up in a bad mood, you're alive.
Yeah.
You are alive. People love you. You love people. You have internet if you're watching this. There's people that don't.
Could have gotten in a disagreement with your husband or your wife, but you know what? Pick and choose your battles. You know, there's times where David and I can get into a disagreement, and he'll be like, "Oh, there she goes yelling again," and
I don't move my head like that.
Whatever. Anyways, but here's the thing. You know what? I'll guarantee you within 10 minutes, we're already sitting at the table and I'm already serving my husband a cup of coffee, or he's already asking me, do I want a water or do I want something? And it's over with, guys, because we don't stay there. We don't stay with a grudge, or we don't stay in an argument, or we don't stay not talking with one another. We don't stay there because we realize that time is precious. We don't stay there because it's not worth it. It's not worth it because we know that time is precious, and we know that the enemy sometimes wants to keep us there, and we realize that, and we know that. And you know what? We get past it, and we'll be like, you know what? No, we're gonna get past this, and let's keep it moving. And we do.
Yeah.
We keep it moving. And it's always like this. We come back, we sit down, we talk, we're adults, we sit down and we'll be like, you know what, this is how this made me feel. And he'll tell me this is how this made me feel. And we talk. We talk it through. This is what grown people do. This is what adults do. We communicate.
I'm a big boy now. The Bible says that when I thought as a child, I'll read it to you. And you guys already know, but I'm going to read it anyways. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and it's a small portion, it says this. Chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. you know, and that, to me, that goes for women too. Is quit bickering about the little stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you're grown already. You're not in high school. You're not kids anymore. You know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my favorite thing to do though.
What's your favorite thing to do, babe?
My most favorite thing in the world, and I don't think she expects this answer, but I'm being completely honest, is I love to make my wife laugh. I mean really laugh. Not the Sharon that's really nice laugh, like ha 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 ha. I mean uncontrollably, because it don't happen often. And that is, I don't know what it does to me, because she's not faking it. It's when she uncontrollably. So the other day I did something and at the church, and she could not stop laughing. So I purposely kept doing it over and over because it brought me so much joy.
Because I know why you did it.
You know, and not many.
Because you kept saying "and you."
Yeah, not many people. You know, I don't know. You know,
Oh god.
and I'm not going to ask her this, but I remember saying this in the very beginning before we were married. I remember saying something like this. I don't know, it's not verbatim exactly, but I said, you know, I know we're adults. We're already older. You have kids. I have kids. So obviously you've had other relationships in your life and whatnot. And I said, but I will tell you one thing. None of them are going to make you laugh like me. Do you ever remember me telling you that?
No. I don't remember.
And I don't even need the answer because I already know the answer. I already know the answer, you know? And so on those little moments, when I get her to crack up so much that she can't talk, that's my reward. I love it. I love it. It's been the other day that happened, you know? And why you off screen?
Because he almost made me pee my pants on the other day. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, but guys, it's moments like that, man. That's what I live for.
He thinks he's a comedian.
I am a comedian.
He's not a comedian, guys. He was trying to do the letters, the alphabet in Spanish. He was trying to copy Brother Sal in Spanish, doing the Spanish letters.
Because you guys know the alphabet. I'm not going to do it, but the Spanish is... the Spanish... What are you doing? Again? Just see the thought. Look what happens. But
Just
the
don't do
alphabet...
it.
I'm not going to... I
Okay,
promise I'm not going to do
don't.
it. But the alphabet...
God.
the Spanish alphabet has a couple letters more than the English alphabet. And when Brother Saul did it, and then I mimicked him, but I exaggerated.
God.
I exaggerated what Saul was doing, and she just starts laughing, man. So, you done?
Yes. I just pictured you.
But guys, that's
Oh god. On my stomach. Okay.
that's what I love.
Yeah, it was funny, you guys.
So,
Because his eyes went really big and it was really weird.
yeah, Saul's eyes got big.
Yours.
I just exaggerated what he did.
Yeah, it was funny, guys.
That dude looked like the mask from Jim Carrey when the eyes go out. Anyways.
It was good, guys.
Anyways, guys, hopefully
we see you guys on Sunday. It's gonna be good, guys.
yeah, if you can come in person, if you don't do nothing, if you're the type of person, most Chicanos, most Latinos celebrate Christmas Eve. So come on Christmas Day service. But if you do have somewhere to go on Christmas Day, please go with your family, go do all that. If you have a chance to watch us, then watch us, because it's going to be some different RBT mixed with Sunday service. What happens? I don't know. All right, guys.
Wonder what that means.
See you guys later. God bless.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.